brunch time here in the beautiful city of Orange, California. Not only the best place to get some bottomless mimosas down the road, but to catch a seat here at the Z Allred Aquatic Center here at Chapman University. Senior Day is upon us for the Chapman University Panthers as they take on a bitter rival in the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. Playoff implications are down here on the line, so it'll be a cage fight in the water, and the teams are looking to make a big splash into the playoffs coming into this weekend. Welcome, everyone. My name is Justin Lee. That is Caroline Chain standing next to me. Jaden Ayala is going to join us in a few moments. And hey, Carol, it's great to be here again, just like last year with the women's water polo game. And breaking down these two teams, Chapman coming in here, they control the third seed right now. If they were to end the season today, they have a chance to clinch it today. Cal Lutheran has a chance to sneak in if they're able to get a win and win out the rest of the season. Would you say this is a rivalry?
This is definitely a rivalry. Taking a look at these team standings right here in 22 and 23, they only faced off against each other one time each, and those were 1-point games. And even now you see Chapman in that number 3 spot, Calu in that number 4 spot. Looking at those overall records, they're really close. It is a neck and neck battle. So again, it'll be a very tough one today as well.
Definitely, and we talked about those standings just a little bit. You take a look at the SCIAC right now. Obviously, the first and the second seed are kind of secured already. Redlands and Pomona, they've been in there. They've been in the national championship game before. Chapman and Cal are trying to set themselves up. Claremont has a small chance, a very small chance to get into the playoffs, but that depends on what happens here and for the rest of the season. Carol, give us the bigger picture here and what we're looking at with the standings.
Well, exactly like I was talking about earlier, Chapman and Calu, they're neck and neck, but as the SCIAC has changed the rules just a little bit, that means this game is really pivotal for both of them. Chapman in that number 3 spot, they do want to stay there because it really does guarantee them a spot in those semifinals.
Definitely does. And obviously with the new added rules of the 5th seed there now, there's a lot more on the line. But let's talk about this game in particular and the people who we're going to be talking about the most throughout this game. Let's start with the Chapman Panthers. Carol, let's let you take the reins.
Well, it's got to be the young blood for the Chapman Panthers, and that is number 3, Davin Castillo. Only a sophomore for this Chapman team. He is their number 2 scorer, giving them 114 points for the season overall. He's going to play such a big role for this Chapman team because Everett Prusak is leaving this year, so he will be important for this future.
One of the other players that's also leaving for Cal Lutheran, and we are going to talk about him, Lincoln Hall, 4th scorer, and a few weeks ago got SCIAC Player of the Week. Guy has been a force on the field, 58 goals this season, 21 assists, and 40 steals for the man himself, Lincoln Hall. You see the swimmer's body, another guy who's also graduating. This is somebody that the Chapman Panthers are going to have to take very seriously if they want to get into the playoffs here for the rest of the way going on. But Caro, who's the other player for the Panthers who's going to be another one to look out for in this game?
Well, you're talking about graduating seniors, and we got to take a look at number 12, Nate Randolph. He is a concrete set player for Chapman's offense as a senior, a leading force in the water. He puts away a lot of those big plays, especially as that set player. He's 50 goals on this season. He's also given them 32 exclusions, and he is only 3 goals away from breaking a record, and that is the 200-goal record. So for Nate Randolph, this is going to be a big game for him.
He would be the 6th player in Chapman Panther history to hit that mark if he's able to make it. But the guy that's defending him, Cormac Flanders for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen, the senior out of Los Angeles, California, 46 goals, a good shooter himself, but he's going to be matched up against a really tough Nate Randolph. And this is a guy who leads the SCIAC right now in some points, right now 4th in the entire SCIAC in terms of points. And they're going to have to look out for this guy the most. When it comes to defense, they need him against Nate Randolph. Well,
Absolutely.
Today we obviously talked about Senior Day just a little bit. Jack Griffith, Nate Randolph are the 2 seniors being honored here today, including a few 5th-year seniors who were honored last year. But Jaden and Ayala, earlier in the week, got a chance to talk with 2 of those seniors and get a little bit more info about them and what their thoughts were on their career. Jaden,
Thank you, Justin and Caroline. I had the opportunity to speak with our 2 senior spotlights, Jack and Nate. And let's just tell you that the energy out here is electric and the stands are starting to fill because it is senior day. I did have a quick update though. Chapman players 2, 4, and 6 will not be participating in today's big game, but that is okay because it is still senior day. Let's go ahead and look a little bit more into Jack and Nate's journey. Hi, my name is Jaden Ayala, your sideline reporter for today's men's water polo game. I'm here joined by our senior spotlight, Nate Randolph and Jack Griffith. So to first start off, Nate, you've been on this team for about 4 years now. How would you say how's your experience been here at Chapman? And overall, when did you first pick up a water polo?
I first picked up a water polo ball when I was 10 years old because my brother played, and I hated swimming, but I was told water polo isn't swimming, so that's why I started playing water polo. I came to Chapman because I wanted the balance of D3, and I got into the film school, so I was pretty confident and happy to go here.
That's awesome. What a great journey. And I'm going to pass the same question to you, Jack. When was the first time you picked up a water polo? And what would you say, why did you choose Chapman?
Actually, funny story, the first time I picked up a water polo ball was freshman year of high school. I did it to impress a girl and get a date to homecoming. I chose Chapman just because I grew up, I moved down here in the area for a really good internship, and I loved the balance between school and polo, and the guys were just great. When I came to visit, it just felt like home.
That's awesome. You guys have some really great stories on how you first got started here in water polo, and it's honestly great to see you continue to get a great education and play at this level here at Chapman. So Nate, I'm going to pass it back to you. You guys had to experience some really great tournaments, have some pretty crazy wins. What would you say is your favorite moment that you've shared here on this pool deck?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of memories here, being here all 4 years. Like, every year's been so different, but each brings like pros and cons. I say one of my favorite memories was being in Boston with the team and going around Harvard and having fun.
That's great. The brotherhood really shows out here on the pool deck while watching your games. And then Jack, what do you think overall is your favorite memory you've shared here at Chapman?
Well, hands down, a lot of the memories are in the pool, but a lot of them are out. But the biggest one would have to be going to Boston. Boston was hands down like the greatest bonding trip I probably ever had.
That's awesome. It sounds like your guys' tournaments really got you guys together.
We were jamming, man.
Amazing. And just to wrap this up, I just have to ask you, what are your plans after Chapman, and do you see water polo in your future?
I see water polo as it'll become more like a hobby to me. I think I really appreciate like all the relationships sport has brought me. But I'm definitely looking for to work in like the entertainment industry and do other things, but still have water polo for fun, play with friends, and as I get older.
That's exciting. We're excited to see where you guys end up. And
water polo is definitely going to be a part of my life, a little bit more as a hobby instead of a job, but I love coaching. I love being around. I love being on a pool deck. It's where I belong and where my heart lies.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much. We have Jack and Nate here with us, and enjoy your guys' senior night.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. This is Jaden Ayala, and I'll be your sideline reporter for today.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Z All Red Aquatic Center for this matchup between the Cal Lutheran Kingston and Chapman University Panthers. Before we get the action going a little bit, we're going to have a little bit of fun on live TV here. And if you were joining us last year in the women's water polo game with Chapman, we did a cap segment. This time, we're going to compare water polo ball sizes. Now, why are we doing this? Because women's water polo and men's water polo, pretty much the same thing in terms of rules and everything, but the ball size is what's kind of different between the two. So just explain a little bit of context. This ball I'm holding is a men's one. Caro's got the women's one. She's got a 4 size, I have a 5 size. It's a little bit different in terms of the hand size, but Caro, I mean, give us a little bit more details. Why they're different sizes?
Well, you already kind of set me up really well, but basically, so we have a larger size for men and a smaller size for women, just to be equivalent for both the gameplay, because obviously men will have larger hands, so they need a bigger ball. And then women have smaller, so we have a smaller ball, because if we had the same ball size for both men's and women's, especially if it's a women's ball, it might make the play for men's a lot easier and a lot faster. But like you were saying, there are very many similarities between both these games for men and women. The game is pretty much all the same. Everything is pretty much the same except for the ball sizes and probably gameplay. Obviously, men's is going to be a lot faster and more aggressive, whereas women's is a lot more strategic, and you really have to think about the plays that you're going to do.
Right, and obviously the ball is just a little bit different, and there's a lot of different ways you can approach it. This thing is not soft. This is a hard ball, and if you join us in the cap segment, there's a reason why they wear those little covers on their ears. You get hit by this thing, not going to be a fun day for you. I'm sure that's happened to you in the past too, Caro.
Definitely. I know my sister was a goalie for her team, and she had several concussions because obviously if this does hit you in the head, it's not going to do great things for your brain. But, you know, it is a tough sport, very aggressive sport, as we're going to see again today. But it's going to be a fun time. But, yeah, definitely you can do tons of different shots with these. Justin, can you list some shots that you can do in the water?
Well, here's the cool thing about, in terms of physics, you can skip the ball, you can lob the ball if you feel like it, you can take a long shot. We're probably going to see a couple of snipers in the pool today, that's for sure. Well, you can see some backhand shots. There's a lot of different cool ways you can throw this water polo ball.
Good morning, everyone.
Absolutely. Definitely a bunch of different ways.
Definitely a bunch of different ways. Well, we're going to send it down to the field, though. They're going to have their senior celebrations right now. Jack Griffin and Nate Randolph. Here's the voice of Stephen Oveda down on the deck.
For their dedication and leadership over the last 4 years. First, we'd like to recognize we celebrated last year's senior day, but returned for their 5th year. Everyone, please join me in congratulating Dylan Gallegos and Everett Brusak. All right, now our two seniors. Our first senior transferred to Chapman from Orange Coast College in 2023, and in the last 2 years, he's played in 47 matches and scored 10 career goals. He's also recorded 17 assists with 7 drawn exclusions. He set a career high with 5 steals against Princeton in his first weekend as a Panther, and scored a hat trick last year against Caltech. He's a 2-meter defender from Sacramento, earning his degree in communications. Number 11, Jack Griffin. Jack's got his parents Lee and Laura, his Aunt Lacey, his Aunt Lori, his mentor Coach X. Panther second of 2 seniors. He's a 2-time All-American, a 3-time All-SCIAC selection over his first 3 years. With 3 more goals, he'll become just the 6th player in program history to score 200 in his career. He also has 46 career assists and 82 career steals. He set a career high last week with 6 goals in the win over Whittier, and then did it again in the win over Laverne. He's a 6'3" center from Los Altos, number 12, Nate Ringo.
Do you remember this one?
Oh.
He's with his parents, Celeste James, and his brother Chase. Waterpolo senior class of 2024.
Well, like you just heard with the senior celebrations there, and obviously Jack Griffith, Nate Randolph, and a few of those other fifth-year players, they've been big for this team so far this season, and it's going to take a lot for this team, especially since Chapman has never won a SCIAC title in their history yet. They're still looking for that first one. Cal Lutheran back in 2022 got their first one in their entire program history. These are two programs that are really kind of setting each other up.
Absolutely. They're definitely setting each other up. Definitely Chapman is looking to get that first SCIAC championship. But, you know, even if they make it to those semifinals, it's going to be an important game for them to play anyway.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about just a little bit about some of the coaches. And obviously we know our good friend Eric Plasell down on the pool deck. His father coached here from 96 to 06. This is his 16th season, also coaches the women's water polo team as well. And for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen, it's been a weird story for them. Tim Sedum, first year as a head coach here, alma mater from Ventura College, Long Beach State. This is a guy who has got a lot of experience on his resume, and you look at his history, it's kind of weird how this goes. Well, they had Craig Rond from 2003 to 2021. Then they had Cody Pletcher, who came in as a first year. That's when they won the SCIAC title. Then all of a sudden, in February, they fired him and suspended the rest of his staff for some unknown reason. So he was gone. Then they went to John Johnston, came in 2023. Cal Lutheran came with a 7-18 record that season. Didn't do so great, so they moved on. And then they got Tim Sedum. And he's, like we've said it before, he's setting this team and this program up for success, is what he said. He wants to win more championships and be a contender year in and year out.
Absolutely. Talking about Tim Sedum, that last season that they had last year, they did go 7-18, which is very different for Cal Lu. They have been a really strong team. So yeah, Coach Sedum is here to set them up for success. As the head of the Kingsmen, he's already put them back in contention like they were just back in 2022, now placing them in the number 4 spot. So he's bringing them back to a great place. And Coach Sedum, he also comes from a great background of experience. He's previously coached at UC Santa Barbara and Pepperdine. Quick shout out to our Stephen Hogenkamp calling that game later today at 12 p.m. And he was also a 6-time Coach of the Year for his previous job at Villanova Prep School, where he coached since 2016. And there he led his team to 6-time league champions. So he's definitely a very important coach for this team and will be a big force for the future as well.
Certainly. We talked about this rivalry just a little bit more and what it means for this game. And before we get to that, down to national anthem on the pool deck. We'll be right back. always the perfect tone setter. Well, like we talked about this rivalry just a little bit more, and last year, Chapman University, they played Cal Lutheran towards the end of the season, won 12-11, one-score games. That's what you said before. 2022, 13-14. This year, they've played them twice in the Titan Invitational. They won 17-14, Chapman over Cal Lu. October 16th, they won 13-11. They've kind of had the upper hand the last few years, and I'm sure Cal Lu hates that.
Definitely. It's so aggravating when they've had such neck and neck games. We're talking about these 1-point games. And if you check out those box scores, each quarter, it's like a difference of 1 or 2. So it is really important for both of them to win. And I know, Justin, you talked to Coach Placel earlier in the week about the strategy for both these teams, because if you kind of look at those momentum in the beginning for Cal Lu, in that first game, they did start off aggressive and strong, but they kind of lost their endurance towards the end, and that goes for Chapman as well. And you could see that in that second game, although Cal Lu didn't start as strong, they came back in that last quarter, and that's when Chapman was at their weakest. And that's something that Placel told us that his team needs to work on. They need to keep up that consistency, keep up that endurance throughout the entire game.
Yeah, they do have to keep up that endurance. They said early in the week they were working on scenarios, situations, working on increasing tempo, working on defense, and being able to adjust to halftime adjustments, and also the ref calls. The ref calls is also a big factor in these water polo games, because sometimes they'll be consistent, but there are other times when they can go off of schedule, off of pattern, and change it up on you. I'm sure you and I, we both have had those games where refs have kind of decided to change their decision-making in the pool.
Definitely. Every game has such different energy no matter who you're facing. It's never over until it's over, and those refs really do play a big part, because either they'll be the ones that want to call tons of exclusions, tons of 6-on-5 power plays, or they're the ones that won't call anything, and then they'll just kind of stand off by the sideline. And obviously it goes for same teams, whatever their energy is, it's kind of all up in the air, but once you get in that water and once you go into the quarter one, you really start to set that tone, and you find that momentum and rhythm for the game.
For sure. For the starters today, Panthers are starting Jackson Sanders in the goal, Jaeger Gonzalez in the goal. Already underway. The sprint is on here. Cal Lutheran wins this one, and we're underway at Orange, California. Beautiful morning and going to be an afternoon pretty soon. Brunch time it is. Welcome everyone. Justin Lee, Caroline Chang on this beautiful day. Chapman Waterpolo versus Cal Lutheran, and already offensive turnover. Chapman gets their first possession of this game. We talked about Everett Prusak and his contributions in the game. If he's able to get 6 more goals to the rest of the season, he'll move into the 4th spot in single-season record. And already the first shot made in there to the goal. Davin Castillo. We talked about him in the pre-show. Gets his 56th goal to start out for the Panthers.
Davin Castillo, such an easy shot right there. Quick pass, quick, easy shot, really nice, and puts Chapman up on that board in this first quarter.
Tommy Rifle will get this squared away. Cal Lutheran looking to respond. They have a tough matchup in Mr. Stonewall Jackson Sanders down in the goal. He's been efficient this season.
Definitely.
First in goals allowed, average. Ordinary foul called against Panthers. And that ball is thrown to the other side, and Sanders will get it easily, and they get their second possession of the game.
Definitely. Jackson Sanders, a huge force for them in the water, already broke a record, a 2-decade-old record earlier in this season, with now 21 saves for a win against Biola.
Another ordinary foul. We're going to see these a lot today. If you're kind of new to water polo, ordinary fouls are just normal fouls. Offensive player has a step back. Shot by Nate Randolph is over the head of Jaeger Gonzalez. Turnover.
Just a little too high over the cage right there, but did you see Nate Randolph really set himself up well? He backed up into his opponent. He made that white water, set himself up right, and did get a shot off, but just a little too high over the goal.
Approaching the goal now, Rifle, trying to find his mark. Missed it by the corner touch. Sanders gets that ball back. It's been very quick so far to start off this first quarter already. Both teams kind of taking the shots early, taking it very fast. Not a whole lot of setting up to do. Ordinary foul, kind of climbing over the top of Everett Prusak on that. Another foul. They are getting aggressive today. We alluded to this in the pre-show, just how aggressive this will be. Another ordinary foul called against Levi Cook. Back to Randolph in the middle. Great defense from the Kingsmen.
Amazing defense right there. Now, Nate Randolph, he did set himself up well, but you can see there was a Kingsman drop on set, and now a quick turnover already called.
The second one already against Cal Lutheran in terms of offensive turnover. Nate Randolph gets this ball, hands it over to Daniel Franks. Franks with the left-handed scoop. Everett Prusak struggling with the ball. Another foul called. They'll toss it over to the other side. And shot on goal. Skip shot by Everett Prusak gets it in there.
Easy plays right there. Money on the line. Prusak showing that he is still top dog. He's in that corner ready for it. A quick pass over to that kind of one spot. You can see right here, slam dunks that into the bottom left corner. Immense power from the top scorer in the SCIAC already. He's leading with those 86 goals and just added another one to that.
Now 87 on the season. Going to be attending law school. He is a comp sci major, very interestingly enough. First team all SCIAC. A shove in the face and another turnover for the Kingsmen. That's a third one already.
Definitely. You're looking for Chapman's getting these great turnovers, great goal opportunities, and they've got some good energy this morning, even though it is still brunch time.
Reaching over the backside of number 8, Dylan Gallegos for the Panthers, one of the other graduating seniors here for this team. Another ordinary foul. Castillo over to Prusak. Prusak kind of lobs it over to Nate Randolph. Beautiful turnover into the goal. Panthers are already up by 3.
Nate Randolph once again soaring over everybody, sets himself up well, making those big execution plays. He is just cooking up a storm right there, and he puts that one away, giving Chapman this early lead in this first quarter.
They really picked up the tempo, and we talked about what those adjustments were for Coach Placel and how that is going to end up. And it's kind of working to fruition right now.
Absolutely.
Substitution with the Panthers. They take out number 11, Jack Griffith. Cal Lutheran looking for their first score of the game. They've turned it over multiple times already. Ordinary foul called. They're switching over. Kind of sweeping the defense a little bit. No ejections yet in this game. Those are going to be big later on. Castillo fighting for it. He gets by Sanders. Great score there from the Kingsmen. Their first one of the game.
Amazing shot put off there. That was number 20, Zachary Isaac. Huge goal for him right there. Obviously, that set position is very crucial, and that's for his 17th goal on the season, so he's finally put those Cal Lutheran Kingsmen up on that board.
Nathan Jones has got the ball right now. The junior out of Villa Park, transfer from OCC. Right over to Randolph. He tries the backhand and doesn't get it by Gonzalez.
Gonzalez making an amazing appearance in the goal today, starting as the 1C cap, but he's getting an opportunity to get in that water, get a little more experience.
Cal Lutheran looking to respond, trying to even it out with the equalizer. Alan Castillo, not a brother of the other player that we've been talking about. Shot skipped out of bounds. Easy one for Sanders to come pick up. Yeager Gonzalez, a sophomore, has played in 11 games this season, 88 goals allowed, and is averaging 14.2 goals allowed average per game. Interesting to put in a young player aside from Beau Dubois, the junior out of Oceanside, California, in this important game, Caro.
Yeah, definitely great points there made because, you know, Beau Dubois, this junior, he's got more experience up on them. But, you know, Gonzalez still has some history, some great experience, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do here in this game.
6-on-5 opportunity. Cal gets the ejection. Chapman 6-on-5, looking for another point here. Castillo dragging it in towards the 4-meter. Dylan Gallegos. Castillo makes a shot. That was great. Sniper shot from Castillo.
Castillo putting it away for Chapman once again. Make some noise for this guy. He is truly one of their key players, the future for this team. Even in high school, he was leading his high school team in goals, steals, and assists. You can see right here, he puts that one super well away. He doesn't even hesitate. Now, that's such an important thing in water polo. You got to make sure that you have that confidence and make sure that you can just put it away. Don't think twice. If you've got the shot, take it.
Already 1 for 1 on 6-on-5 opportunities. The Panthers, Cal Lutheran looking to respawn once again. They've really haven't been able to respond as much. Looking for the center position there. Great defense. Thatcher Lytle in the pool there. Gets that ball secured safely. Had him marked as out for this game, but he's in the water right now. Castillo got an open wide man. That's Sammy Hendrickson. Push out from under. That's an ejection on number 17, Alan Castillo. That's a second ejection for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. Another 6-on-5 opportunity for the Panthers. Hendrickson dragging it a little closer. Castillo, will he find another shot here? No, he does not. No looker, and he gets it in. Nathan Jones comes in and scores for the Panthers.
That was an amazing shot put off there. You weren't even expecting it. Did you see how he looked away, pretended that he wasn't actually going to pass there, but he did. And I feel like that's something I've been seeing with this Chapman team is they're practicing more of their passes, not naturally they're solid. You could see he didn't look right away there, but amazing shot put away just above the goalie, just above Gonzalez's head. But what Chapman, I've been seeing them doing is that with their passes, they'll kind of fake out the other team and be like, oh, I'm not going to pass you. I'm going to look this way. But really, they're so confident in their passing that they know that whoever is in set is there and ready to receive that pass.
You see the parallels with a lot of different sports like basketball and the way that they play. A little bit of a allude to Magic Johnson and that Lakers team back in the early 90s and the 80s and that magical season, watching the no-lookers, and you saw the beautiful pass there from Castillo over to Nathan Jones in the middle of the set right there, and getting that in the deck right now where he got a timeout called from Cal Lutheran. They need to slow things down a little bit because obviously the Panthers have been able to pounce fast on this team.
Definitely. It's not something we were expecting because Kalu and Chapman, we saw that team matchup earlier. They're really close, neck and neck. Kalu has the energy. They have the strength. They have it. They're just kind of storing it, but hopefully Coach Sedum has told them to kind of wake up, get ready for this Saturday game, and come back here in this first quarter.
Massive crowd here at the Z Allred Aquatic Center. Cal Lutheran trying to crawl their way back, down by 4 in this game. Caden Sourbeer, beautiful name for a water polo player. Pass over from Giles. Number 16, Paul Patterson in there, freshman out of Camarillo, California. Skipping in a beautiful shot in the bottom right corner. Gets by the hand of Jackson Sanders.
Puts that one away easily. Paul Patterson sitting at the 6 meter. That is not an easy shot to put away. And he puts that in the bottom left cage. You can see maybe a little dent was made from that power in there. Look at this real quick. Quick pass to the point shot. Patterson rears up. He fakes him out and puts that one easily past, especially because Sanderson did come out pretty far, so it gave him that ability to get it past in that goal.
Did give him the stiff arm too on Castillo. Right now, oh, a beautiful shot from the backside. My, oh my, Dylan Gallegos. Where did you come from?
He shows his seniority. He didn't get to play that freshman season because of COVID. He is soaking up every little bit and piece. Dylan Gallegos being a great player for this team. He's 5th in the SCIAC for his assists so far, and truly a strong player for Chapman.
So far, Damon Castillo has been a force on the field. He leads the SCIAC in terms of assists. First, he's got 59 coming into this game. He's got a lot more, and he's also adding on to his goal percentage. He was 6th in the entire SCIAC coming into this game. Huge block by Jackson Sanders gives the Panthers another possession. Cal Lutheran has been very quiet on defense so far. A lot of fouls being called, but they haven't been able to find a ton of steals. They're leaving Castillo very open, throws it down. And there's the defense for the Kingsmen. Caden Sourbeer steals it away, hands it over back to Gonzalez.
Definitely. You're seeing a little bit of a drop on Nate Randolph in set. You're seeing that the player number 24, Lincoln Hall, is between both of them to try to make sure that he defends set and his player out on the field.
Sourbeer was looking for Paul Patterson on the other side with a no-look passer. This goes off the crossbar. Goes off the hand of Jackson Sanders, so this will be a 2-meter for the Kingsmen as they get possession back. Just like in soccer, you touch the ball. If you're on the other team or on defense, then that ball goes back to the team that was just on offense. Cal Lutheran setting up. Oh, great steal. Dylan Gallegos takes that one away from number 16, Paul Patterson. And a flick over, and it just goes off the crossbar by Prusek. Turnover. Kingsman gets possession. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. 6-2 is the score right now. Here's Merrick Giles, hands it over to Paul Patterson. Patterson right back to him. Looking for the set, a lot of pressure. They got 2 men in the middle covering the set. Score, and just gets by inside the goal. Little bit of a spinner right into the goal. Cal Lutheran trying to crawl their way back in this game, Caro.
Gallegos with those sticky fingers takes that one away from them, gives Prusak that ability, but obviously Patterson and Cal Lu, they find a way to get it in. Now that one was kind of off the bar, barely into the goal, but the thing is, if the ball goes fully past the entire cage, then it is counted as a goal. And so Paul Patterson, already I believe that is his second goal for this team, and doing a great job for setting up the Kingsmen for a success and trying to help them a little more as they go into the second, as they finish up that first and go into that second quarter.
Like we talked about before, Chapman has always had the upper hand against Cal Lutheran. A big one was in the regular season finale in 2022 when they lost to Chapman. We talked about that game, 13-14, one-score games. Chapman just enjoys it. Shot here off the hand. Oh, it didn't look like it was off the hand of Gonzalez. They give it back to the Kingsmen. Kingsmen looking to respond just like they did just a few seconds ago. Under 20 seconds. Trying to get a shot off here. Resetting to the outside at the wings. Here's Patterson. He makes a shot, and it's blocked away by Lytle. 7 seconds. Ball is given back to Sanders. He just tosses it down the way. He's got Prusek by himself. Hands it to the other side. Trying for the skip shot. Doesn't make it. Nate Randolph. End of the first quarter. Very eventful first quarter. You usually don't see the score until the second quarter. And we talked about this close matchup between these two teams in the past. Already 6-3, Panthers on top against the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen as we go to the second quarter, Caro.
Absolutely. Now, what a great quarter that was already. Something that we weren't really expecting, especially as Chapman and Cal Lu have been neck and neck. We were looking for more of a tight game from Cal Lu's side, but you never know. They are comeback kings. Obviously, you can see from this season, they've put themselves back in contention with Coach Sedum. So nothing is impossible for them. So let's see what they can do in the second quarter.
One of the big things to note here for the Panthers, they've given up a lot of goals in the later half of the games that they played, especially against teams like Laverne, who they played. Occidental. They've kind of been slowly letting teams kind of crawl their way back into games. And one of the big time adjustments that Eric Lassell was talking about early in the week, and he was saying that they need to adjust, right? Adjust in the second half, adjust to the ref calls, adjust to everything else. That's a big important factor, especially if you don't want to be the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl, right? You don't want to give up those big leads.
Definitely. Now, we're going to get into the rest of this game, but we're going to first go to a quick break, but we will be right back with all the action here on CSBN.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Z Allred Aquatic Center for the start of the second quarter. Panthers up top 6-3 in this game against the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen, who are fighting for that playoff spot in the third seed. Panthers secure that third seed today with a win. Do they get into the playoffs? What's it going to take for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen to kind of crawl their way back? We saw a little bit of them crawling back, but what's it going to take to really bounce back, because the Panthers have really jumped the gun on this team?
Definitely. Now you're already seeing Chapman coming off real strong, very aggressive already in this game, which is really good for them because that's how you really set that momentum. Now, Kalu, obviously, they're still slowly waking up, but we did see that second game where they came back in that fourth quarter. They were almost there with Chapman, almost overtook them. That was like a 2-point game, 11-13. Chapman still won. But I think what Kalu needs to do is, you're already kind of seeing them wake up a little bit more, is they need to keep up with Chapman in their defense-wise. You see Chapman is getting a lot of those turnovers. They're setting up Nate Randolph really well. Well, that's where the defense comes in. You need to do some more shot blocking, and you might need to drop on set a little more, especially with the powerhouse like Nate Randolph sitting in that set position.
Everett Prusak and Brody Swarm facing off each other on the spread as we get to the second quarter. It's been a very eventful game so far and a lot to look out for. Panthers get this one on the second sprint of the game. Sammy Hendrickson was able to secure it safely. Jack Griffith right now, they call him CERT. Didn't get a whole lot of background information on why, but this is a guy who's going to go to grad school, coach youth and high school water polo, and become a referee, he said. He wants to climb the ranks and become a water polo referee someday.
I think he would be a great player for that. He's probably one of the silliest guys that I've ever met. I had the pleasure of meeting him earlier this week for filming our Chapman package for this game.
That's another good plug to talk about later when we get to halftime. We got another good bit with Jaden and Ayala later on, so be able to tune in for that. Cal Lutheran looking to even up the score right now. Nate Randolph took a shot wide, shot off the crossbar. Nate Randolph secures it. Shot by Ethan Guerica, sophomore out of Highland, California. 29 goals this season, just missed it by that much.
You can see Sanders there, really great block for him, but also you saw on the defense-wise for Chapman, they helped their goalie, got that ball back for him, and reset themselves up before swimming all the way down line for this next play.
Ordinary foul called. Panthers really working the outside, and it goes off the back of the goalie, and it goes in. Wow. What a shot by Daniel Franks.
Daniel Franks, he is making moves right there. I mean, you saw that goal. He was just in that corner, kind of sneakily sitting by, but he puts that one into the corner of the cage. And just like before you saw that Kalu game, well, you see it again where it just slowly tips in that cage and is giving Chapman another point for them to put on that scoreboard.
Chapman dominating on the score sheet right now. They are 7 for 12 on shots on goal. Here's an ejection called against the Panthers. First power play of the game for the Kingsmen as they look to respond against that goal from Daniel Franks. A beautiful shot indeed it was. Davin Castillo is the man on the ejection. He's got some timeout to sit in the corner. And a shot made by the Kingsmen. Beautifully dipped into the back of the net. Brody Swarm on the shot.
Brody Swarm. Now you saw right there, they're calm, they're cool, collected. The Kalu Kingsmen, they were ready for that 6-on-5, and they used it to their advantage. You saw them passing that ball around, and then Swarm kind of moves in slowly, ever so slowly, fakes him out, and puts that one away for Kalu.
6-on-5 opportunities are the biggest chances for you to score in these water polo games, just like a power play in hockey. Nate Randolph beautifully blocked by Gonzalez as he waves his hand because it went off of his right hand. And this will be given back to the Panthers as they take it from the 2-meter mark. Everett Prusak. We haven't seen much of him today. We saw his first goal in the game earlier when he made that beautiful shot, but it's kind of been Davin Castillo's game so far between these two. Heated rivals, would you say? Ordinary foul against Davin Castillo once again. They're really covering Nate Randolph. Two guys in the perimeter. Castillo approaches, makes a beautiful long shot, and he snares down the goalie. Beautiful stuff from Davin Castillo. Have yourself a day.
Castillo throwing money around again at that 6-meter mark. He is an absolute force for them. Only a sophomore once again, but he takes that confidence. You saw that. He was ready to take that shot. He didn't think twice. That was an amazing shot right there, whipped.
Hat trick for Davin Castillo. He has been outperforming so far, and he makes another great effort here off of Jackson Sanders. Davin Castillo has just been everywhere so far, and we haven't even gotten to the second half, Caro.
Definitely, and you're definitely seeing some more great defense practices from Chapman on that side. You know, number 11 for Chapman, Jack Griffith, huge player for them, helps his goalie and swims that one out, making sure they get that.
Off the corner of the goal, Gavin can see another pass away. Evan Prusak makes his entrance once again.
Everett Prusak shows that he is the Mount Everest of this team, already continuously adding here. In his rookie year, he had 35 goals already. Now that is such an impressive feat, and you could continually see him. He's trying to break those records. He's trying to move through those ranks and stay in Chapman's history books.
The young senior out of San Clemente, we talked about it. If he's able to get just a few more goals in this game or in the next game when they play Whittier on Saturday next weekend, then he will be 4th all-time in single-season goals for the Chapman University Panthers, just behind Alex Mule right now and Graham Assaloni for the Panthers. Some legendary names this name of. Jackson Sanders stonewalls it, goes off with his hands. This is 2-meter pickup.
Sour Beer gets that 2-meter, puts himself at that 2-meter, and gives the Kowloon Kingsmen another chance to get up here.
You see the shot here from Beer on that. Right now, Cal Lutheran, a little flip over of the wrist, and it goes above the goal of Jackson Sanders. Cal Lu still trying to figure out that rhythm just a tad bit. They've made some goals, they made some plays. They've really got to shut down these top scorers, especially when you're hot right now. If you're a guy like Davin Castillo, somebody's going to be watching out for you. Maybe you got to double team that guy.
Definitely, especially those star players. You got to make sure that you can take them down and that they're getting all the defense.
Nearly goes in the goal as the shot was made by number 6, Thatcher Lytle, sophomore at Coronado, California, 6'6". Not even the tallest guy on this team. Drake McNichol, 6'8". You'd think he would be playing basketball, but he's here in the water. Here's an ejection against the Panthers. Dylan Gallegos goes out to sit in the chair for a few moments. Another 6-on-5 power play for the Kingsmen. They're flipping it around, juggling it. Need a little bit of help here. Shot, Stonewall, stops it in front of him. Timeout called by the Panthers. Their first timeout of this half.
Sanders, you can see him slamming the door on almost every play. He's doing such a great job of defending that cage, and you're seeing most of Kowloon's shots kind of skip like right in front of him or trying to go low instead of those high corners. So he's able to keep it down with his hands, make sure it's down and in front of him, and instead, because Kowloon, they're not making those high corner shots. If they were making those high corner shots, then they would be able to get on that board just a little more. And you can see Kowloon, they're there. They have it in them. They're just still needing to wake up and get to it.
Well, here's Jaden Ayala with a little bit of some details. Jaden, what do you got for us on the pool deck there?
I had the chance to speak with Davin Castillo's parents to learn a little bit more about his water polo journey here. Davin actually became a water polo player through his older brother and ultimately fell in love with the sport. I did find out that Davin actually only stands at 5'9" about, and this is a very untraditional for a set player to have this position. I mean, this is ultimately this is amazing because we could just tell that his aggressiveness and his strength overall really shows that he is a powerhouse down on that pool deck. So ultimately, Davin continues to push the game, and we are so excited to see what he continues to do here at his Chapman.
Thank you, Jaden, for that hit. And obviously, he is having himself a game here on this beautiful morning. Just about 30 minutes before noon. Davin Castillo, sophomore, he's going to be a force for years to come. Still in his second year with this program. There's a lot of potential there for a young man like that. The man from Upland, California. He's got the ball right now. Daniel Franks, we saw his shot earlier. Back to Castillo. Really strong. Another no-looker. And it is scored! Nathan Jones puts it in the back. The transfer from OCC.
Nathan Jones, he moves into that set position for Chapman, and also still a junior. He put that one away really well. You can see right here the no-looker moves in, takes his time, works it around, makes sure he wraps around and moves his player so that he can make that shot.
So aggressive, this Panthers team, finding on defense, putting on shots. David Castillo confuses the Cal Lutheran defense, continues to be a force on the field. And that great insight from Jaden, just talking about his ability to play with that shorter stature. But that doesn't matter. Your heart is bigger than yourself. And it definitely shows from David Castillo. Long shot, miss on the top. 2 meter, because it went off the hands of Sanders.
Now you can see Kalu gets to move in a little more. That was a harder shot to make because they were setting up kind of at the 5 meter mark, which is a little far away for them. So obviously it's good for them to kind of move in.
Shot there by Cormac Flanders. We talked about him. He hasn't made not too many contributions so far in this game. Tried to slam the shot in there, and it went off the hands of Sanders right in front of him. And Dylan Gallegos has got great handle of the ball. No ejection here, just a normal foul. He lost grip of that ball, and it goes by Gonzalez anyways. All right, Gallegos.
Gallegos, again, showing that he is a master of this game. Now, he did have a little bit of a fumble there, and I thought he wasn't going to be able to put that one away, especially with that foul called. Maybe it wouldn't count. But he was still able to recover from that and put it away into the cage. Again, giving Chapman the upper hand here.
What a performance so far. They've already made it to double-digit score in this game. The Panthers, we usually don't see this very often up until at least the third quarter, and the Panthers are already here. Got a good chance to make this thing 20 if they continue on this path. Ejection here against the Panthers. That's Gallegos. 6-on-5, fighting with Sanders. Stonewalled, my goodness, right in front of his face. He had sour beer.
Sanders slams that one down and away. Again, truly such an amazing player for Chapman.
Here's another 6-on-5 opportunity because the ball went off of Sanders, went to the corner. So Cal Lutheran retains possession, trying to fight their way back. Great defense, and Hendrickson goes off the post, saved by number 7, Jason Pirachi from Dana Point. What a defensive showing for this Panthers team. And not just that, Sanders has been showing out in that goal cage so far this game, only allowing the Kingsmen to score 4.
I mean, he is the #1 in SCIAC saves. He doesn't allow more than about 14 goals per game, and he's doing an amazing job, only allowing 4 so far in this game. He's a record breaker. He is a door slammer.
And he is a stone wall indeed. Prusak made that shot, stopped by Gonzalez there. Kingsmen get possession back. Right in front of the face of Sanders. Can he get it by? And he just gets it off the post. So a little bit of luck, a little bit of magic. Still Stonewall Jackson continues to be a force. And the Panthers get the ball in that possession either way because it went off the post. And you can tell that the energy has just been in the way of the Panthers so far.
See right here, Sanders. That one goes, I think, off his head right there, but he shakes his head and he's like, no, 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 I am here for it, and I'm ready to shut them down.
Great defense there for the Kingsmen. Can they fight for the ball back? Yep, safely secured. They're trying for the shot there. They got a cherry picker down the way, a sour beer. He's got Jason Pirachi defending him on his back. And defended from Pirachi. But it seems like they're calling the 5 meter anyways. And frustration from Jason in the pool because he thought he just made a spectacular play in this game, but instead it becomes a 5 meter.
Now you saw Sour Beer. He was up in that pool. He was ready to take it. He was going all the way down. You see right here, kind of struggling, trying to take that flamingo shot, but it goes just a little too high because he was under a lot of pressure, but he still does earn that 5 meter for them.
5 meter shot. Caden Sour Beer looking to put 5 on the board against this tough defense goalie for the Panthers. And he puts it right in. Kingsmen score 5, trying to find their way back.
Amazing stuff there for Sour Beer. Now, obviously, with a penalty shot, you're pretty much allowed to make that one. That's going to be an easy one for you. But, you know, he did a great job of actually putting it in that corner, because if he did go low, you saw Sanders with his hands towards the water, then he probably wouldn't have made it. So great execution by Sour Beer.
Especially for the goalies. He just picked the wrong side there on that penalty shot. Especially for the goalies, the amount of egg beering, the amount of work that they have to put in to get those legs strong, to be able to stay up in the water like that. You can tell that Sanders has been able to stay above the water at all times.
Absolutely.
And the clock's
definitely
running
a lot of
down.
work there.
And that's the end of the first half. Panthers up by 11. Cal Lutheran 5. And we're going to the second half in just a few moments. We've seen a lot so far in this game. We saw defense been energized by the Panthers so far in this game. They have the upper hand right now, Caro.
Definitely, you're seeing Chapman obviously take that lead away from Kalu. That narrow game that we were expecting, Chapman did shut it down. So it does show that whatever they were doing in practice this week, when you talk to Blissell about those plays they're doing, they really have accomplished that. And you're definitely seeing that through their defense. Now, obviously, their offense is still cooking up a storm, but that defense, they're helping Sanders' back line. They're rescuing that ball. They're shot blocking. They're doing an amazing job of that.
Yeah, so far, Jason Sanders has been the guy himself, the transfer at Long Beach State University. He was there for 3 years, comes in here as a junior, and what a difference he's made so far for this Chapman Panthers team throughout this season. And if they're looking for their first SCIAC championship and the title and the first one in their program history, he's the guy to do it, right?
He is the guy to do it. You see Sanders, he is that record breaker for this Chapman team, and he's doing such an amazing job. And we're going to see what happens for the rest of this game. Obviously, Cal Lu is definitely needing to come back here, but they do have a chance. They are comeback kings.
They are comeback kings, and we'll see kind of where that goes in terms of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, who's going to take this thing, because obviously we've seen in the past that the Panthers have kind of given up leads late in games. It's going to be up to Sanders to kind of continue this momentum as they're going into the game. And we've seen a lot so far in this game. But if we talked about it earlier, and we're going to toss to it, but Jaden Ayala's got a little bit more about some more stuff that we did. A little bit fun in games with the seniors. Jaden, give us a little bit more.
Thank you, Justin and Caroline. I was overhearing today that the Cal Lu coach was really pushing the intensity and overall emphasizing defense on this end of the side. As we can tell, they are really clogging up in the center field, really covering set overall, just to make sure that they're overall covering that defense. On the other side, we do see Chapman being able to really take advantage of those quick shots. They're ultimately getting that ball down really quickly and just being really aggressive in general, which means that they are leading right now, which is super exciting. We're about to take a break right here during halftime, and we had the chance to really just get to know our Chapman men's water polo team through a really fun game. You guys should stay tuned and check it out.
He'll like dap me up after like a goal or something, so that makes me happy. I'll put him at 4. He's pretty popular, he's pretty famous. I'd put him at 3. Always a good little hype man. I'll put him at 2. Jackson, he likes to like stay locked in, kind of keep to himself, so I'll put him at 6. Christian likes to talk a lot. You know, I'll put him at 1. Yeah, he's a good hype man. Davin's a little prankster. He's like a Farquad. I'd put him at 5.
Oh, I gotta put Nate at number 1. He always looks good. I'd put Frank's at like 4, just because he's always got a fresh cut, but it's kind of basic. Gotta put Sammy at 5. He kind of gives like the high school senior, don't care kind of vibe. Oh, Luke's always got a fresh cut, and his stash is always on point. Number 2. I'd say 3. There's never anything bad, but it's not great.
You know, I've seen him at Trader Joe's a couple times. I think he can make a really good frozen meal. I'll put him at 3 today. He's always too busy playing Fortnite, so I'd probably put him at 6. Thatcher probably doesn't know how a stove works, I'll put him at 7. Jay Sean worked at Chipotle, so I know he'll give me the good protein servings. I'll put him at 1. All he does is eat like hot Cheeto burritos and stuff like that, so I'd probably put him at 4. I think I'd put him at 6. Certified says his cooking's good, and I trust Certified, so I'll put him at 2.
I feel like he listens to like classical music. Number 7. Oh my God, no, switch. Baker 6, Press 7. Press does not listen to music. He just listens to the decibels of 1,000 and goes, Jace's got, I put Jace at 5. Oh, Devin's got number 2. All these guys have terrible taste. Matthew's got to go at 4 then. Kostem always plays our pregame, so I put him at 1, but he never plays my favorite song, Jamin. I'd put him at number 3. He's got solid taste, but everybody else is worse.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going quickly here as the Panthers have already started, and the fireworks are going quickly. Nate Randolph gets another goal for the Panthers to start off the third quarter.
Nate Randolph putting one away for them right there. You saw it already. He's cooking up for them. And as you can see right here, sets himself up and puts that one in the top right corner where the Kitties can't reach it.
Nate Randolph now on this game. So far, he's already scored 2 goals. He's just 1 away from that 200 mark. Here's an ejection against the goalie. He's going out. He's gone.
Rare play.
And scored by the Kingsmen. Lincoln Hall gets his first goal in this game.
Amazing stuff there for Lincoln Hall. Now one of our key players again, currently in the SCIAC. He's leading number 5 in those goals. Now we haven't seen him a lot throughout this game, but you know, second half tides do change, and obviously with a goalie out of the cage, it's kind of like an automatic point.
Turnover against the Panthers. Kingsmen are looking for that opportunity. They've cut the lead down to 6 now. By himself, heading towards Sanders. Sanders locks it. Wow. This third-year junior out of Long Beach State, all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico, has been such a front for this Panthers team. They're back on offense. Castillo, he's been the first half MVP. Can the Panthers continue this reign? Nate Randolph off the side of the goal. Give it back to Cal Lou. Randolph really wants that 200 mark.
You're already seeing Cal Lou wake up. I mean, sun is coming out, and they're bringing up the energy, just like at the start of the game. They're bringing in more aggression, bringing in more vibes to add to this, and kind of stirring up the pot a little bit.
They want to stir this just even more. Looking for some opportunities now. Right to the middle, good backhand. Sanders is there to stop it.
Soft backhand there by Sour Beer. Now obviously kind of tight there. He had a double drop on him, but still an attempted one right there. Amazing stuff for Sour Beer, but let's see if they can put it away in the future.
Here we go, the Panthers have the ball. Castillo with himself. He hands it over to Daniel Franks, who we saw earlier in the game. Prusak. And a little flick of the wrist, and it just doesn't get by. New goalie in for the game for the Kingsmen. Jacob Taff is now in, the sophomore out of Carpinteria, California. Played in 13 games, 101 goals allowed, averaging 13.1 goals a game. And he's a 39 save percentage so far. So they take out Gonzalez. They put in a different goalie, different look. Still surprising they didn't put Dubois in the game. Flick of the wrist, misses wide. Under 5 minutes of the third quarter, 12-6 is the score. If you're just joining us, Justin Lee alongside Caroline Chang here on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network and Flow Sports. Exciting match here today with the playoff implications on the line still. Panthers, if they get a win here, they secure a playoff spot. Ordinary foul, Prusak tosses it wide side, intercepted. And a fight with Nate Randolph, another Scramble for the ball, Prusak. Ball is handed over to the Panthers. They've got retained possession. It's sitting in the goal right now, so Prusak has to take it out. A little bit of some confusion. The ref is saying you got to bring it down to the 2 meter on the other side. No, and things are starting to just slow down just a tad bit. Refs and the teams are just a little bit confused.
Definitely a scramble in there. You saw a ton of whitewater happening right in front of the goal, and obviously things are slowing down. They got to reset the clocks, make sure everything is ready for this play, and let's see what happens.
Here we go. The ball is in the hands of Daniel Franks, and a skip shot that gets off the hand of Jacob Taft. He secures it safely. Cal Lutheran trying to make their comeback late in this game in the third quarter.
Griffith trying to make that from the 5 meter.
Intercepted by David Castillo. Sammy Hendrickson got the ball now. Slowly crawling his way to the goal. Will he take it himself? Trying to dust it off to his teammate. And a fight from the shove backside. Ejection called on the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. Yet another power play. Timeout looks like called by the Chapman team. Eric Lassell calls a timeout for his squad.
You could see right there, Griffith pulled a great exclusion for them, passed that quickly to Nate Randolph. And honestly, Nate Randolph could have totally taken that shot from the one spot into that corner. That was an open window for him. You could see his frustration when he sank into the water because it was there for him. He could have put it away, but a timeout is a timeout, especially when you're up by this much. So it does give them an opportunity to maybe take their time and do this a little more strategically, especially as they have a 6-point lead.
They were dominating for much of the first half, and now they're coming back in here with the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen kind of breathing on their backs right now because they're fighting for a spot in the playoffs. If they win today, they essentially control their destiny for the rest of the season. They have 2 games. Next, they got Occidental on their schedule. And the week after that, they've got CMS, who are the number 3 seed, right? Or they're number 3 in the nation right now. Here's the interesting thing, though. When you look at the Sky standings, the Chapman Panthers are in that 3rd spot. We talked about that. The Cal Lutheran Kings are in that 4th spot. According to the CWPA, the Collegiate Waterpolo Association, Kingsmen are number 4 in the nation. The Panthers are number 6 in the nation. It's a little interesting the way that works.
That is definitely something to think about. It a little funky right there, but you never know. We'll see what happens here with this 6-on-5 as they take a little more time to set up for this one.
Talk about some added pressure for both of these teams who are fighting for a chance to get into the playoffs and obviously the national championships. Castillo blocked by the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. That was number 17, Alan Castillo, on the block against Daniel Frank's shot. Here's Paul Patterson on the wing side. Monitor your screen. We haven't seen much of Lincoln Hall since that last goal, or even throughout this game. Has been kind of quiet so far. The top scorer for the Kingsmen.
Kalu definitely want to try to get something here.
Blocked by Sanders. Goes out of the pool. That possession's right back to the Kingsmen.
You could see right there that Chapman was really doing a great job of their defense, pressing everywhere. Kalu felt a little panicked right there, trying to work it around, trying to find a space, but they couldn't because Chapman is doing such a great job of defense. Right now you can see they're splitting between the ball and set, making sure they don't allow that quick set pass.
Here's a little dump off to their set player, and it's stolen away by Davin Castillo once again. Kind of been the two-way factor in this game, defense and offense. The man has been just a showstopper. Daniel Franks with the ball right now. Over to the weak side, and Davin Castillo, ordinary foul. Backing off is number 14, Merrick Giles, and a shot that goes off of the goalie, Jacob Taft. Another 2-meter opportunity.
You can see such immense power from all of these players' arms, especially Nate Randolph. That is a crazy muscle to have there, and took that exactly at the goalie, but the goalie did a great job of keeping that down low and blocking that.
Scramble for the ball as Castillo secures it back as they're trying to find Randolph in the middle. The shot clock is running down. There's a fight on the other side of the pool that you can't see. Randolph scoops it in and puts it in the back. And now the sixth player in Chapman history to hit the 200 goal mark as he gets that one in. And another hat trick for himself too.
Nate Randolph, he's breaking records, he's graduating, he's gonna go into the entertainment industry. One of our fellow Dodge students as a creative producer. He's truly setting down a history here and making great strides for this Chapman team, giving them another leg up here in this game.
What a force he's been for this Chapman Panthers team, and obviously just honored out here on the deck before the game even started. Timeout for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen, as Tim said him, is trying to get his team back into a little bit of a groove here. They've had a tough go of it so far. When they played Senior Day, which was on November 6th on a Wednesday, they lost to Pomona Pitzer, who is also, by the way, the #1 team in the SCIAC right now. They lost 7-13 in that game. They did beat Laverne last time, 13-9 with Sour Beer and Greca. We'll talk about that just in a few moments. But Jaden, who's down on the pool deck, got a little bit of some info for us. Jaden, what you got?
Thank you, guys. I had the opportunity to speak with Ben Blatt, one of the alumni here at Chapman University. They are bringing the noise in the stands and have brought 4 other alumni with them today to this game. Ultimately, they are blowing the air horns and making lots of noise, but they came back to support their other Chapman water polo team, and it's been amazing. They're here to see these boys make history and hopefully go and grab that SCIAC title at the end of this season. They're very excited to see what they're going to do, and they notice they are pushing the intensity more than ever. So back to you guys up there.
Thanks, Jaden, for that insight. Like we talked about with this Cal Lutheran Kingsman team, and just the way that they've made their journey here. Last year wasn't such a great season for them. They had a different head coach. They were 7-18, 6 in the SCIAC they finished. They lost 4 straight at the end of the season. This is a team that is looking to be a contender once again, and Tim Senham has the plan to do so.
He definitely does, but this far in the game, Cal Lu is definitely down by a lot, but it's still not impossible for them. I think they're just a little bit in their heads, kind of psyching themselves out against this Chapman team. Yes, they have lost twice, but those have been neck-and-neck games. They have the ability to do something.
Shot here that was blocked by the Panthers defense. Yeah, you talked about just a little bit of getting back in the rhythm a little bit. The Cal Lutheran Kingsmen looking for that ability to kind of crawl their way back in. We saw a little bit to start off this second half. Not much has been happening here because they're allowing the Panthers to do these sorts of things as he's driving towards the middle. Defense, no call from the refs. That's given back to the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. It was a work on from Nathan Jones going towards the goal. He got 2 guys on his back and no call against the Kingsmen.
You saw Nathan Jones completely submerged under the water, trying to turn his opponent, but obviously he might have been being held because he wasn't really able to get there.
Ejection called against the Panthers, and he makes a beautiful shot on the outside wing. Caden Sourbeer gets a shot on that and makes it a 6-difference game with this lead. 13-7 now. Cal Lutheran trying to find their way back.
Great stuff right there by Caden Sourbeer. You see this quick catch and shoot. He puts that one away. He's been an important player for the Cal Kingsmen so far in this game. He's such a strong player for them already. A 54 shooting percentage in the 23 season. And he's a senior, so he will be graduating this year, but he is a key player for them.
A lot of key players on his team. 7 seniors are graduating, leaving this Cal Lutheran program this upcoming year. A lot of these guys have gone through COVID this season. They've made their way back. That's why there's a lot of 5th-year seniors on both sides. Here's a fight for the Cal Lutheran defense. They were fighting against Nate Randolph, who couldn't secure it. He's being dragged onto the pool right now. It's not on your screen at this moment, but there he is. He's trying to fight his way back. And it's kind of a disadvantage. Cal Lutheran pushing towards the goal. And it is scored! Scored by Cormac Flanders.
Cormac Flanders making an appearance in this game. That was a huge one just for him right there. He is such an important player like we were talking about, and he's helping them out right here. And already adding to his 43 goals, 44 now. Quick pass and shoot. Easy stuff for him right there.
So Panthers are looking to respond. Kingsmen have cut down the lead now to 5. Ordinary foul called. This is Daniel Franks on the outside, passes it over. Gets somehow by into the goal. My, oh my. Nathan Jones puts it in the back of the net, and it somehow gets by the hands of Taff.
Just under the buzzer, Jones. Seriously, he puts that one into the corner. When you thought the quarter was completely over, it was gone. He takes that power. You see it right there, just under the goalie's arm. Wasn't even expecting that. Jacob Taff unhappy about that one, especially. That one was a quick one and not ready for it.
Such a beautiful shot there. That's probably some top 10 stuff right there from the long ball from Nathan Jones. After the buzzer beater, we're going to the 4th quarter now. This is crunch time. Right now, 14-8 is your score. Caledon Kingsmen down by a few. They do have a chance. They still have plenty of time in this game to get back into what they're trying to do here. But what's it going to take for this Kingsmen team to kind of, we talked about them crawling back, but now it's about continuing what they did in that 3rd quarter, continuing to make shots on goal, but they've got to stop allowing goal scores like that from the Panthers.
I think I believe Kowloon, I think they're a little too much in their heads right now. They know they've lost to Chapman twice, but those were really tight games. They do have it in them. They've just got to get over that hump, get out of their heads and play hard. Play aggressive, play for the game. This is one of the last few games for their seniors that they will be playing, so leave it all out on the field. That is something my coach would say to us all the time back when I played varsity in high school. When I was a senior, she said, leave it out on the field. Leave what you can. Play the hardest that you can. They've got it. They're here for it, and they can completely do it, especially coming off of a win just against Laverne, 13-9. They have the momentum to do it. They can make that gap just a little smaller and come back against Chapman.
They have a chance to do so, and you talked about them bringing the energy in this game as we get to the 4th quarter. This is where those crunch time moments happen, those big ones, especially in these types of games. Like your coach said, well, my coach has said to me one time is, drain the battery, dump the coffee on the ground, put it all out there, no matter what. Every ounce of juice you have, you've got to leave it out in the pool.
You've got to leave it out on the pool, especially as every game is different. Everything is changing. Put it all out there. See what you can do. It's there for you. You've got everything. You've been building up to this moment. It's going to be a great last quarter.
Off to the 4th quarter we go. The sprint down the way, and it's taken by the Kingsmen. Davin Castillo on the sprint was unable to take it from Zane Herman, the transfer out of Ventura College, one of the other graduating students here for this Cal Lutheran Kingsmen team.
Also played 3 sports back in high school as Herman.
Score here from the Kingsmen. Ethan Guareca gets it in the back, sophomore out of Highland, California. The comeback, trying to set up the rally for the Kingsmen.
Definitely, they set that one up. They set the momentum of this quarter. You see that quick pass into set. Guareca turns in really well and puts that one into the cage.
Ordinary foul, Ever Prusak.
He actually had his season high with 6 goals in the 2nd game against Chapman.
Here's an ejection against number 12, Tommy Rifle for the Kingsmen, and it is scored right in the back. Dylan Gallegos.
I believe that was actually Nate Randolph who put that one away. Seniority coming in, and I'm also telling Justin what's up. But basically, Nate Randolph, again, showing off his great skills right there and putting another one away for the Panthers.
Sometimes hard to see when the water's splashing up like that. I gotta kind of wipe some of the stuff off my eyes. On the assist there, Nate Randolph put in the goal.
Definitely, you saw him take that momentum in his arm and swing that right past Taff.
Oh, a shot from the backside. Nate Randolph was in complete disbelief. Could have been an offensive turnover on that, and no call here. Off the hand of Sanders, off the crossbar. Kingsmen retain the possession.
Kalu back at the 6. Let's see if they can put something.
Errant throw from the Kingsmen, and is given right back to the Panthers. Jack Griffith secures it safely. Right into open space. Davin Castillo's got it by himself. He's got 4 Kingsmen on him, trying to stiff arm guys. Hands it over to Prusak. Prusak finishes. Goodness gracious. Prusak and Castillo have been a star-studded duo this entire morning, afternoon, and now good night.
You can see right here, Prusak is completely open on that 1-2 side. Easy pass over there. Prusak puts that one right away into the goal, and you can definitely feel energy and momentum livening up here at the All Red Aquatics.
Prusak gets another hat trick to his name, 3rd goal of this game. Cal Lutheran looking to respond. They've got 6 minutes to work with. 16-9 is a score. Not as close as we kind of imagined this game to be, but Cal Lutheran still got plenty of time to make that happen.
Absolutely. You're seeing them a little more lively on the offensive side, taking those shots a little farther away. I mean, just a turnover right now, but they are taking good shots, cross-cage shots into those corners where goalie cannot reach.
Those are extremely important, especially if you're the team who's down by this much right now, 7 points in total. The Panthers are looking to make this one even safer for them. Nate Randolph once again flicks it over and it goes in. My goodness. Nate Randolph is now taking the reins as the quintessential player for the Panthers.
Seniority leading the way. Let's get some more energy for Nate Randolph. Doing an amazing job for this team. He's breaking records. He's moving on and giving Chapman another point that gives them the bigger lead.
Here we go. As we start things off once again, another ejection. This is Davin Castillo going out of the way. Power play for the Kingsmen. They're trying to crawl their way back. They've been trying to crawl their way back. They haven't really had the lead, and they make a shot here. Goes in the back. Caden Sourbeer gets another one.
Sour Beer obviously really helping this Kalu team kind of get back in contention. He's been a big scorer for this team. And in that first game, you can see right here, quick shot right there. Oh, seems like that was the lob shot from earlier. But Sour Beer in his first game against Chapman, he had 5 points in that very first game.
Panthers retain the possession. They've got the ball back after that score. From the Kingsmen, Randolph fighting for the ball, and it's taken away by Taff with a little bit of help from his teammates. Randolph is not happy about that. Didn't get a call. Hand over now. This is Levi Cook, sophomore at 1,000 Oaks, California, working his way through, and another shot that goes on the other side. It's touched by Sanders. Another 2-meter opportunity here. Another ejection against Castillo. This is big. That's his third, so he's out for the game. So Davin Castillo, his day is over. 6-on-5 opportunity for the Kingsmen once again. Can they finish it here? And he gets it right in. Cal Lutheran, Ethan Guerrec, another one.
Great shot there by Ethan Guerrec. He finds the back of the net in that one. Really helping him out. Trying to bring back momentum here. You can see right here with this shot, he passes that one, quick pass and shoot, puts that into the side of the cage where nobody can reach. That fast momentum, that fast speed is what gets you those goals. It's what puts you on that board, and you can definitely see the vibe and the tempo change for Kalu here in this fourth quarter. They're really waking up here.
They've started to figure out their way here, and they're figuring it out on defense too as they take it away. Lincoln Hall comes back to help his teammate number 12, and Tommy Rifle. Looks like an ejection here. Timeout called by the Kingsmen as they're trying to set it up. 17-11 is the score right now. And we just saw Castillo go out for his third ejection. That's big. He was a big factor in that first half on defense and offense. His day is done right now. Same thing as fouling out in basketball. That's got to be big for this Panthers team. They're working with under 4 minutes to go. Kingsmen, maybe they might take that as an opportunity to get things going.
Absolutely. Castillo really was that driving force, gave them those 3 early goals throughout in the early of the game. But obviously, Kalu does have an opportunity maybe to come back here. You're seeing a 17-11. Yes, it's a 6-goal difference, but nothing is impossible. Nothing is over until it's over. You're definitely seeing them kind of wake up. Coach Sedum is setting them up for success here. It is not impossible.
Not impossible indeed. Take a look at some of the stats, though, and just the way that this game has gone. Kalu and Chapman equally. Kalu has 33 shots, Panthers have 31 shots, but the Panthers have been equally as great as finishing those goals. They have 17 out of 31. Kalu has only managed to score 11 on 33 opportunities so far in this game.
Definitely, you're seeing Chapman with that 55% shot percentage, and they're able to put those away more, execute those plays a little bit more than Kalu.
6-on-5 opportunity. We saw the ejection earlier against the Panthers. This is where they've been capitalizing on these 6-on-5s to get back in these games. Can they do it again? And the shot is made. Cormac Flanders, once again, his name is being called.
Gives Kalu another chance here. Coach set him, whatever he told him, he set him up. And you see that one right there by Flanders, puts that one away into the cage. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Flanders adding on to that goal percentage.
Fight here with the defense. Dylan Gallegos, the future firefighter for the Panthers. Backhanded shot! Wow! Nathan Jones once again silencing the Cal Lutheran offense.
Nathan Jones actually stirring up the pot there. You saw him in that set position. You can see right here in this quick replay, look at that backhand. Super easy stuff for him. Throws that one straight in the cage, and that's a bombshell right there.
Sour beer has been kind of a factor. He's got the ball right now. So far, very quiet with their Sky Player of the Week a few weeks ago. Lincoln Hall has not been much to avail in this game. Been very silent. Intercepted by the Panthers defense. Sammy Hendrickson, sophomore at Redondo Beach.
You're seeing a bit of a different lineup here. Some younger players, especially as you lost David Castillo. So maybe not the first starting lineup, but some players that are fresher and give them a little bit more experience here in this game.
Just under 2 minutes, approaching 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter. In this game itself, approaching the backside off the corner. Secures it safely as Tav. They gotta go fast. Fans are screaming at their team. This is number 16, Paul Patterson, trying to finish, and he gets this skip shot in the goal. So the Cal Lutherans are sneaking their way back into this game very, very slowly, step by step, Caro.
Definitely. I mean, look at Patterson. He's been a force for Kalu all throughout, and here he comes again. You see that energy coming back. You see in this play quick here, he's all alone. He's by himself. Yes, Sanders is big, but there's nothing you can do when it's a one-on-one and you're that close. It's pretty much all for Patterson.
We saw Sanders block a few of those one-on-one opportunities. This time he doesn't get the better end of the stick on this one. Nate Randolph over the head, hook shot over the net. My goodness, Nate Randolph stealing the show.
Nate Randolph proving once again he is a leader for this team. Look at this right here. That is like a bullet into the cage. And not only are you seeing him lead here, but even back in high school, he was his team captain for 3 years and a 3-time All-League selection. He has a history of playing 11 years on this sport. You can see all of that leadership and seniority coming down right here in this game.
Shades of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a skyhook shot. It seemed like Nate Randolph has taken this ball away. He has seemingly taken the show in place of Castillo, but don't discredit Castillo for his contributions on the pool. Randolph by himself. They're moving the ball and trying to use this clock to their advantage. Just 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Prusak, no cap.
Prusak with that cap off.
He kind of just toss it away. Hendrickson tipped over. Good stuff. Great defense working on number 13, Daniel Franks. That was Paul Patterson to take that ball away. 1 minute, 20 seconds. working with a lead of 6. The Panthers are trying to hold on, and it goes off the hand of Sanders. 2-meter shot upcoming.
Kalu, another opportunity to put something away here, get another play, and get something into that goal and narrow that gap, that 13 to 19 gap.
Ejection on the Panthers. In set. 5-meter called against the Panthers, and that stops the clock with 1 minute. Would you say it would kind of take a miracle for this thing to kind of come back here, Carol?
Maybe, but I think what's most impressive is Kalu coming back in this fourth quarter. They really did struggle in that first quarter, down by a lot.
Stonewall Jackson stops the 5-meter, seemingly squandering this comeback. Cormac Flanders on the shot.
Sanders once again proving himself. But I think once again, Kalu is really impressive here, doing a great job of coming back here in this fourth quarter, being by down so much in that first, picking up that momentum, leaving it out all here on the field. You can see some scrambling happening here in the pool. Chapman deciding to run down the clock and not continue their play.
Cal Luther's cherry picking on the other side. The shot clock went down to 0. So now just 33 seconds left. Ejection called against the Panthers. Dylan Gallegos gets the foul. He goes out of the pool, 6-on-5. Kalu's working under 30 seconds. And it's going to take a lot to get out of this one. And Sanders, who has been a force all day, we've called his name multiple times. And the clock is just going to run down as they're flipping it over Prusak. Shot clock off, 10 seconds. They're still fighting. So much fight in this Cal Lutheran Kingsman team. And what a preview this will be in the playoffs. 2, 1, and the clock runs down. And the Panthers put themselves in the playoffs. They're 19-13, the final score here at the Z Allred Aquatic Center. The Panthers come away with the victory. Cal Lutheran will need to win the rest of the season to keep themselves in playoff contention. What a game this was, Caroline.
What a game this was. And you can see although Chapman started with a lot of energy and a lot of aggression in that first quarter, you saw the rest of the stadium start to wake up as well in this Allred Aquatic Center. You see the entire stands fully filled with parents, families, friends. You're seeing all this great energy here in Allred, especially to match senior day here for Chapman Panthers.
What a great day to get a win on senior day for your team. And one of those seniors, Nate Randolph, what a performance he had on the pool today. He was a little bit quiet in the first half. Then he came out in full colors and full rainbows and sunshine. Nate Randolph comes out here on the most important day of his entire career here at Chapman University, and he puts his team in a position to set themselves up. And obviously, if you're talking about the playoffs and how that structure works, because the 4th and 5th seed play each other when they get to the playoffs. Then they have to go through the 1st seed. And if you somehow get by the 1st seed, then you get in there. Would have been a lot tougher for this Panthers team if they ended up in the 4th seed. What a job by Nate Randolph to keep them in that 3rd seed.
Definitely keep them in that 3rd seat, keep them in contention. So that means that currently they will probably face off against Pomona Pitzer. Now earlier in this season, they did have a tough loss against them, 15-9. However, they also kind of started coming back in like about the middle of the game. But I would say that day when I had watched that game, that Chapman was a little tired that morning. But obviously you can see here, they had the ability to come out aggressive, come out strong. So I don't have a doubt that Chapman could definitely have an opportunity to probably take down those Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens. But obviously Kalu, they're put into that wild card spot, and they also have an ability to get in there as well.
You see all the energy there on the pool deck. Nate Randolph, Jack Griffith, they're putting out all their emotions. This is their final season. They're getting set up to go to the playoffs. They have one more game against Whittier at Whittier next Saturday. Will be their 2nd meeting since October 30th, one day before Halloween. And the Kingsmen go to town against Occidental and their final game against CMS. And interestingly enough, this loss puts the Claremont Mudscripts ahead of the Kingsmen, and the Kingsmen puts themselves in the 5th seed. So a lot of movement. We talked about it the movement in the standings make a big effect on the SCIAC standings right now. Now Cal Lutheran, they really need to get those wins going into that.
Absolutely, they do really need to get those wins, but obviously nothing's impossible for these Kalu Kingsmen. You saw them come back here in that fourth quarter. They've got great energy. They can do it. It's nothing short of impossible, but obviously for Chapman, it's going to be a big game for them as well, facing off against those Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens. So we will see what happens all in the SCIAC Championship.
Yeah, once those tournament comes on, it's going to be an interesting fight to see. The Panthers, who knows? There is a chance for them to do some whole field advantage, but obviously with them in the third seed, they're going to have to go away against Pomona Pitzer in that stadium. They've been pretty good on the road in terms of neutral places where they play at, in terms of the way and the home. This was a big win regardless.
This was a big win regardless, and it's such a great honor for Chapman to make it to that SCIAC semifinals. It's such an amazing achievement for this team. Now, obviously, they have a lot of grit, they're working hard, but they are losing 4 really important key players, and that will be Everett Prusak, Dylan Gallegos, Jack Griffith, and Nate Randolph. Now, you did see they are the truly important players and the backbone of this team, but then again, you're seeing young players arrive, like Davin Castillo, only a sophomore. He's got so much potential here at Chapman for this program. So for the future, they're definitely going to have a lot coming up.
Yeah, and you see some of the highlights from this game, and we talked about Davin Castillo and his contributions in the first half, and then obviously Nathan Randolph and how he was able to make some not only great shots, but beautifully aesthetic-looking shots on goal. What a performance he had. Cal Lutheran, don't discredit them for putting themselves in a position to get back into this game. They're going to need that fight for the rest of this season, the last 2 games of the season that they have, those being extremely important games. They have a lot to ride on, and don't discredit the fact that they lost this game. They came up against a really good Chapman team that kind of stormed out the gates in this game.
Absolutely. You know, Cal Lu, they have that history of making moves. They can get revenge if they want it, and they will want it and need it for their upcoming games.
You know, we haven't seen much from these 2 teams and just the way that they've been able to finish out here. Jaden Ayala, who we've gone to plenty of times in this broadcast. She's down there on the pool deck. Jaden, who you got with us?
The crowd is absolutely losing it here at Chapman. We have friends, family, and alumni here for this big win Chapman has taken over Cal Lu. And I just have to say, we are joined by our MVP, Nate Randolph. I'm just going to jump right into it. Congratulations. You are the 6th player ever to do it in Chapman history and scored 200 goals. What does this mean to you personally?
I mean, it means a lot. I think the 4 years went by really quickly, so it's crazy that they all added up into my senior year. But I mean, this last home game was super meaningful to me. Put a lot of work into this program, and now we're seeing the benefits, so it feels really good.
That's huge. I mean, I talked to Coach Eric a little bit before the game, and he kind of just expressed that you play the set role really well, and you are going to be missed here on this team. And I mean, what better way to break a record than here on your senior day? Yeah. I have one more question for you so you can go out and go celebrate with the rest of your team today. Overall, this win has set you up for the playoffs. Yep. So how does it feel to have this momentum moving forward in the postgame?
It feels really good. I mean, we've had a couple win streak here, so I mean, it gives us a lot of confidence going into it, which is huge. Hopefully we'll host too, which would be great. But yeah, it just feels good to be in playoffs. Don't have to worry. It's not up to goal differential or any of those. None of that matters. So we're here, but we're looking forward because we want to win this year.
That's huge. We are so excited to see where you guys are going to go this season. Thank you so much again, and congratulations, Nate, on breaking that record.
Thank you.
My name is Jaden Ayala. I'm with CSBN, and it's been a great time being your sideline reporter. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jaden, and of course, congratulations to Nate Randolph for hitting that milestone, in his final game here at home as a senior. That means a lot to a player like that to, be able to not just only get milestones, but here's the thing about those milestones, most players would say they're really not thinking about it. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about it until Jaden brought it up. And that's just a testament to players and how they play the sport. They just want to play, Caro?
Yeah, definitely. Again, like we were talking about, leave it out on the field. Everything that you've got left, just go for it, because really just live in that moment. and play hard and play for fun, because this is such a fun sport to be a part of and really enjoy your time while you are here. And so Nate Randolph obviously showed that he left it out all on the field and did a great job of doing all that in the water today.
Definitely. So let's talk about a little bit of that preview of the Sky Championships. Obviously, there's still a few more weeks to go in this season until we get to the finish line of this, and there's still going to be some movement within the standings, just a tad bit. But right now, it seems like, the 5th and the 4th, they're going to play one game, and with the 2nd and 3rd seed, they're going to play their game the next day, with the 1st seed playing against whoever wins the 4th and the 5th seed in those games. And then once that's over, whoever wins the 2nd and 3rd, and whoever wins the 1st, blah, 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 4th, 5th, then they play each other in the Sky Championship game. But that won't be until late November. So we still have plenty of time to go until we get to the most important time of the year, which is those playoffs indeed, Caro.
Definitely. Now, that was a very hefty explanation. Obviously, after SkyAC has changed the rules, things are getting a little bit more complicated. But the reason they've done that is to add a wild card, add another team to get an opportunity to get to play in those championships. So it'll be a fun game despite, because obviously the one spot will take a little bit of a break, and 4 and 5 will really fight hard to get into those semifinals.
Definitely. So in terms of just how important it is, and we talked about how important it is, but for the Panthers, because they're looking to secure a spot, I mean, they've already done it in the playoffs, but they're looking to at least get in there. So what does it mean for them to at least, be in that position, to be in that spot, to play against, or not even have to play against the number 1 seed per se?
Still, no matter what, they're playing against Pomona Pitzer. They're in that number 3 spot. And why is that so great? Well, I mean, one, obviously an amazing achievement to make it in the number 3 in SkyAC, but also to have that position to play off against Pomona Pitzer. They may move on to the finals. Yes, Pomona Pitzer is a tough team, so again, they'll face off with a very tight game, but it still gives them a better chance than being in that 4 spot, because if you're in that 4 spot and you face off against 5, and you do win, you will have to face off against number 1, which is going to be a tough struggle. So this is a really great pivotal moment for them.
Well, it's been a great day out here at the Allred Aquatic Center. 19-13, the final score between the Panthers and the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. My name is Justin Lee. That's Caroline Chang, and it's been an honor. I don't know if this will be the last time I do play-by-play for CSBN, and hopefully not. We'll cross our fingers, but honestly, an honor to be able to be here with you, Caro. Thank you, guys. For the last time here at Chapman Sports Broadcast Network and Flow Sports, Justin Lee, Caroline Chang, Jaden Ayala. Have a great afternoon.
Want to dance? Look at that.